Most real estate agents are sitting on deals they don't even realize they have. Every day, buyer leads are coming in, but these leads get one touch, maybe two, and then they get written off as not serious. But what if I told you inside those dead leads are hidden listing opportunities waiting to be uncovered? I'm Byron Lazine. I'm the CEO at BAM, and I've done over $1 billion in real estate sales, leading the #1 team in Connecticut. Yesterday, we went through a lead audit, and we found a buyer that at first glance looked cold. There was one text, one sparse response by the agent. But by actually engaging, asking the right questions, and focusing on value, we turned that dead lead into a listing appointment in under 15 minutes. And this isn't a one-off. This is a repeatable process that agents need to be using in today's market. So today I'm going to show you exactly how to audit your leads, uncover hidden listing opportunities, and have conversations that actually will lead to appointments without wasting time on dead-end leads. We'll break down the biggest mistakes agents are making, walk through this real example of a cold lead turned into a listing that I actually made the call on, and I'll give you a simple framework to start converting more opportunities right now. I'm going to try to pack in what Ariel and I worked on yesterday into this training. And this should help you improve on your lead audits. So today's training should help with how do I get the most out of my lead audit? How do I make that super impactful for my business? How do I better understand what I need to do with the leads in my FUB? All of that. Number two, it should help you identify opportunities that on first glance might not appear to be there. And then ultimately, you'll see how to generate listing appointments from your buyer leads, which is what we all want. Yesterday, Ariel and I, we were gonna make some calls at 1 o'clock. Originally, we were gonna do some circle dialing, but before we did circle dialing, I said, hey, let's the three of us, me, Ariel, and Lee, go through a lead audit together. Reason for that is just some of the lead audits for Ariel, they haven't been all in, meaning energy, attention. It's not like going to the Super Bowl, a lead audit, but it is still something that is really important, drives the business forward, all of that. You know, we don't have to be super excited, but we do have to be super attentive and work with Lee on these things. So I said, hey, let's go through one and just make sure we're dialed in. Make sure we understand the benefits of this, the 3 buckets of a lead audit. Like, here are the people I'm working with today, tomorrow, the next couple weeks. Here's the bucket of people that I've had good rapport with. I've been doing my touch points, 6, 8, 10, 12 touches, and they just are further out. I've maybe met them at a couple properties, but for whatever reason, they're not gonna write in the next 60, 90 days, but I'm gonna continue to work them. And then that third bucket in a lead audit where it's like, hey, I gotta get this off my plate so I have the capacity to continue to take new leads and focus on the people that I'm working on. So as we were going through yesterday, Ariel's lead audit together, myself, Lee, and Ariel, we identified some leads that were only touched one time, okay? And it was like, hey, they're not responding to me. Well, they sent you a text message. I promise you guys, I'll try my hardest to get back to your first text, but sometimes I'm busy and it won't happen. Doesn't mean I don't want to get back to you. Doesn't mean I'm not passionate about, responding or anything like that. It means I'm busy as fuck. And so are our customers, kids, family, all these different things. And sometimes it takes 5, 6, 7 touch points. And so when we're saying to Lee at an audit, like, hey, take this one off my plate, it's because, hey, maybe we've had a conversation. They truly are 9 months out, right? Or we've done 10, 12 touches, and there needs to be somebody else now that's reaching out, a new voice to try to get this lead to respond. The leads don't owe us anything. They may like Lee's voice better than yours. No, who cares? It's all about getting the appointment set. Let's go in now to FUB. We came across this lead named, and at first glance, and I know why, go down to where we saw the one touch point from Ariel. This is a $519,000 lead, which came in from either Zillow or Realtor. Which one did this come in from, Lee? Initially, Zillow. So this is a Zillow. So Ariel and at first glance, a knee-jerk reaction, I get it. I think this would be human nature. Ariel says this person's not a real buyer. Take it off my plate. Hi, Ariel. We're not very seriously looking, but that house met a lot of our desires. We're trying to have a child, and when that happens, we'll want to upsize. When we bought our current home in 2019, we didn't contemplate having two space, for two home offices, 3-bedroom, blah, 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 all these things that we need. So where our mind goes sometimes there is we take literally what they wrote. We're not very seriously looking. We don't hear tone. We don't hear any of the emotion behind this person because this is a text message. And what I picked up on immediately was, but that house met a lot of our desires. And then the big line, me and Lee looked at each other and were like, dude, this ain't even a buyer lead. This is a listing lead. We bought our current home in 2019. What does 2019 tell me right now? She's sitting on a pile of equity. She's sitting on a ton of money. This is a listing appointment all day long. And so I said, Ariel, like, you sure you want to give this one up? Like, since that response on January 15th, you basically put the work on her. Sounds good. If something really special pops up, I'll send it over, like, and sayonara or never talk to you again type of thing. And that's what happened. There was no more responses. And what Ariel had said, like, hey, she didn't write back. Nothing else is popping up. She's looking for something very specific. No, it's a conversation, not a text message about being able to set her up for success in the future. And so I was about to, because we were going to get into circle dialing, I was about to say, like, hey, Greg, take this one. Let's call her and pitch the listing. Instead, I said, screw the circle dialing. Let's just call her right now. It's better to get things done right now. You see something in your fob where it's like, oh, this one should be called. Make the call. Send the message. Make the call. Send the message. So we jumped in, and this call ended up being a little bit lengthy, but we'll fast forward some of it. But who here on this call would trade 12, 15 minutes for a listing appointment in the next 48 hours, right? All of us, right? And that's exactly what happened here. After 12, 15 minutes of talking to, there's a listing appointment set for Ariel on Thursday at noon. So, hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video. I was shocked when Bobby sent me this stat. 95% that have watched the video in the last 30 days are not subscribed. The best way to support the channel is hitting subscribe down below. It's absolutely free. Thank you, and back to the video. Yeah, totally. Why would you want to trade that in? What has you thinking about looking to find a bigger house? It sounds like if the family expands, that's going to be the case. You're going to, at that point, try to find a bigger home. Skip up to the part where I start talking about the benefits of being ready on the sell side.
You wanted to start negotiating and touring other homes, they would feel like you're at the level of a serious buyer to entertain the tours and obviously those conversations if the next like row best type of property comes up. And we don't know obviously how quickly or how soon they will, but we do know, and you know this just by looking, we do know when they hit the market, they come off the market very quickly. So if you're open to that, I'd love to set you up some time with Ariel so you can meet her and take a look at your home and just kind of build a plan for what the future might look like if the right home were to become available.
She puts me on hold to talk to her partner.
Yeah, but real quick, B, it's like, did anybody pick up on though what happened from the beginning of the call until right before then? It's like when he was on the call in the beginning, there was a TV in the background. So that lady was spaced out, not paying attention. If you listen to that call right before she went on break, there was no TV in the background. She actually either turned it off or muted it because she was actually interested in what he wanted to say. I don't know if anybody picked up on that.
She was paying much more attention. And I know we fast forward a little bit of parts. She was so much more engaged and open and sharing on the call after the awkward start. Nobody is waiting for this agent that they did a text message with once 3 weeks ago to come popping up on their phone, and they're like, oh,
like, we talked once on text message. Like, I've been thinking about you for 3 weeks. I've been stalking you on IG. Like, I can't get you out of my mind. Like, oh my God, I've been waiting every minute for this call. Like, we're going to catch people when they're busy, when they're distracted. And it's our job, in order to help them, in order to serve them, to cut through those little hurdles and actually serve them. She became engaged on that call. Like Lee said, she cut the background noise out so she could listen and engage in the conversation. We were on the phone for 15 minutes together. She then, and this is how I know she's dead serious about thinking of a move, the next chapter. She then goes TV timeout on the call, talks to her partner who works at home. They have home offices, they need home offices. She already told us that in FUB before, and says like, hey, like, this guy on the phone is telling me like he can send RL over, like we could do that this week. We could figure out what this house is worth. People who are serious go time out, talk to them, and start engaging on a time when we can come over. Because remember, guys, if we take for gospel what she wrote in that text message, we're not serious. If we focus on the word serious, oh my God, she's not a buyer tomorrow, we end up quitting on her. She writes business with somebody else in 4 months. She will become a much more motivated buyer when she fully understands the piles of money since 2019 that she is sitting on. A home on her street just sold for $50,000 over asking price and closed a couple weeks ago. She's sitting on a property that's going to be competitive and is going to bring her a lot of money into the pocket. And then that's going to change motivations as well. And so our knee-jerk reaction, guys, instead of just helping and serving people and digging in, most people aren't clicking Zillow and Realtor.com to waste people's time. There's some of that, no doubt. But a lot of people have some type of journey and they need the education. That knee-jerk reaction that we give to the salesperson in Foot Locker when they come up and they say, can I help you? And you say no, and you walk out with 2 Nikes. That's not the knee-jerk reaction that we need to have as sales professionals when we see somebody who, to me, just having the experience, read that and I'm like, listing appointment all day long. Like, this is just shooting fish in a barrel to me. And unfortunately, we see this in FUB all the time. This is why the audit is important, to really engage with Lee, because he picks up on this stuff. He picked up on it instantly yesterday. Yeah, it's not one reach out text and be like, oh, if maybe something pops up, or I'll let Real Scout do it, or whatever the case. It's like, let's engage on really where this person wants to go. And now it's closing time. I got to set this appointment. Here's the thing that you didn't hear was I said to her, like, hey, you're going to be a seller. Let's just sit in the seller's shoes for a minute here and think about that property that you missed out on actually touring Robeth. If there's 30, 40 showings set up, is the seller more likely to say to buyer agents, hey, bring me the buyer who is ready to engage on negotiating on this property today, or bring me the buyer who's just not ready? She goes, well, yeah, obviously we're going to want the buyer who's ready. So for us on the other side to be that buyer who's ready, we just need to really know exactly kind of what your house is worth, what the house can catch on the open market, have a marketing plan ready so that next time something that she was like, I was surprised that something that met all of our criteria hit the market. Next time we get shocked and a property jumps out at us, we can go to that seller and say, hey, we're ready to get our house on the market. It's going to be a screaming deal. We've already done the walkthrough. One of the questions she asked me on this, because this is how uninformed people are. It's our job to educate. She asked me, she goes, when you guys do the analysis, is that going to get reported and my taxes going to go up? She knows, like, just seeing other properties in her neighborhood, like we're sitting on a pile of cash. She doesn't know exactly how much, and she thinks that coming in and doing an analysis on the home's value might make her taxes go up. Once I said, no, this is between us. This is so that you have the information, most important, so that we can now present to the sellers when the property pops up that's perfect for you, that we're ready to go. We're going to be serious buyers. She's like, oh, good. That makes me feel better. And that's when the appointment was set. No, definitely not. Absolutely not. This is just for your knowledge so that you know
what the number is. In 2019, we can go back to the napkin. You're gonna have some equity, obviously, in your current home. But this number is just between Ariel pulling that data along with you, giving you that data so you guys have it. And the benefit, not only for you guys knowing that, again, if that dream home does come up at some point this year, and you're like, hey, Ariel, we want to get in this. We don't want to miss the opportunity to tour it like Robeth. Ariel can now say to that listing agent, that seller, like, hey, Kayla and her partner, they're serious people. They're serious buyers. They've already taken the step to go through the process of knowing exactly what their house is going to net on the open market if your house is the one that they want. And like, reverse the situation here with me. If you were on the market and you had 20 people that wanted to see your house, would you want to show it to the 10 who are ready to go, who have taken the step on their current home, or the 10 who are like, we haven't really figured that out yet? You're going to focus in, when you're the seller, on those people who are ready and committed. And so this gives you the information now to have it and be able to update it as time goes on if nothing comes up. But if something does come up, it gives you that ammunition to just be in the driver's seat on those conversations. Does that make sense?
The lead audit is there to operationalize your business, to have that built-in assistant basically driving the business forward. Number two, don't be emotionally attached to people not reaching back out to you, especially if you only reached out to them one time. They don't owe you a reach back, okay? It's our duty and obligation to continue to reach out to them. And if it's just not working, the middleman approach, what I did there, which is what the ISA team does so well, crushes it. Why wouldn't you say, hey, Sydney, I've got this person I've just been hitting up. They're 15 minutes from you. They're in West Hartford. They just either don't, we talked once, they either just don't like me or, whatever. I just can't get them on the phone. Could you maybe take the lead, or could you help me out with a little quick middleman approach? The middleman approach is what I did yesterday. Hey, I'm Byron. I work with Ariel, and she just told me about your situation. So now it like diffuses the situation of terms of like being an aggressive cold call. It's like, hey, Ariel told me about your situation, told me what you're looking for. I want to make sure that we can serve you at the highest level possible. So let me get this right. Like, you're looking, but it's got to meet this criteria. What else are you looking for? And then, really, to be in the power position that you want to be in when that property does, present itself, here's what we got to do. Are you open at least meeting and getting that figured out? Great. I'm going to have Ariel. And what I said at the end there was, I'm going to brief Ariel on everything that we talked about so that when she meets you on Thursday, you guys can get right in to analyzing what the property is worth and the strategy of how to be a buyer when that property presents itself to take advantage of the market. Big lessons here. We got to reach out more than once. One text message isn't going to get you to 7 million, 10 million, 15 million this year per lead. One text message isn't going to do it. Blaming the lead for not getting back to you after one text message is selfish and silly. Number three, what they're telling you in a text message or an email isn't the full truth. You're not their cousin. You're not their sister. They told you a part of it. They told you 10% of the truth. They told you a piece. And it's our job to have a conversation and be curious and really find out the rest of the story. And that's going to end up, the more information they have, that's going to change motivation. That's going to improve motivation. That's going to send motivation on a different course. So really focus in on what the data and information you do have and getting the other information.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. If you want access to these types of strategies that I went over in this video, and actually the ability to role play them out with me, join the BAMX community on School. Go to school.com/BAMX or hit the link below. Excited to see you in there.